For this video, we're going to show you a little bit of the process that went into making this Tatooine terrain set for Micro Wars, and we'll end up with a little bit of a showcase of the particular pieces. Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in lovely Fågelund, Sweden. Well, we have finally finished up our Tatooine terrain set for Micro Wars. This was super fun, taking a bunch of garbage and turning it into really cool little pieces. I want to show you some of the process that we have involved from garbage pile to final painted pieces, and then we'll go ahead and show you a little bit of a showcase of some of the particular pieces. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Alright, let's get out our bag of treasures here and dump it on the floor. Now, my kids have absolutely loved helping me with this, collecting what looks to be garbage. My wife, on the other hand, thinks that we are absolutely ridiculous, that we've been saving this stuff for weeks and months, and some of it even years. But there's so much good stuff that we throw away that is really great for hobbying. And there's so many times I've thrown stuff away and I wish I didn't throw that away because I really could have used it for this project. You never know. So in this case, it's kind of good to be a little bit of a hoarder, to put this stuff in a bag and box and put it away. Tons of different stuff you see here that we have saved over the years and that we've found. We've got Christmas decorations, we've got Easter decorations, we've got fireworks stands from the summer, all sorts of different odds and ends and knickknacks. We got wooden pieces, egg carton shells, we've got some sprues and old light fixtures. Different kinds of cloths. You never know what you're going to need this for, so save it all. But here's what the result of it. When you finally dig through all of this, you can make some really interesting structures, and we're going to make them for our Micro Wars buildings here, so they need to be pretty small. But you can see here some of the structures that we've just glued together using a bunch of the junk from our junk bag. Let's take a look at them one in turn. Here we go. We have, this is something like a building block from one of my sons that we've had. I just grabbed it and threw some popsicle sticks down and some other wooden pieces. Did the same thing with his other house. Put down a little marker gaming piece and a little rounded piece on top. Same thing here, simple wooden blocks. These are actually firework caps from fireworks from the summer that I just glued on top. And here I made another landing pad type house. I don't even remember where that black plastic piece is from. Got a nice cork here from a wine bottle that I was able to cut up and glue onto this block. Here we have the Easter egg on top of what was a coat rack from my kids that had broke, so we actually cut it off in small pieces. And a piece of junk, a cap I found on the ground, who knows, added a little piece of sprue on the top of it. Here is an old light fixture from kitchen lights. I just pulled those off and I glued on the bottom these plastic firework stands. So make these little kind of hut looking things. Champagne corks, easy enough. Just glue a door on them, and you got a pretty cool looking building here. That's as easy as it is, really. Just slap that door on there. And we're gonna throw some spackling on it later to give it a little more texture. Another wine cork that I cut in half, threw it on a little block, put some excess sprue stuff on the top. Pretty simple. And another block that I just threw a bunch more sprues on, a couple game pieces on top. And we'll go ahead and add some sand on this later to make it look really good. And finally, we have this these few pieces here that are just a bunch of random plastic pieces and a light bulb that I threw on another plastic piece to give us something like a little tower kind of feel. I mean, really simple, but it still has a bit of this futuristic sci-fi kind of feel. This one, I think it actually comes from a drawstring coat that had a spring inside of it, and a couple caps from, I think that was from a Christmas decorations. Little things as well are great. A few different things that I found that I've able just to slap together without too much problem that would really look good on the table. Like this. I mean, you got like a little wall plug there, a game piece, a piece of sprue, glue it down onto a wooden base. You've got yourself a cool little, some sort of industrial thing. Here, these are just wire holders. These are just used for electronic stuff that I just found. Those could be used for something really cool. And I made a bunch of barrels, or I guess you could call them piping. Just took these little plastic little beads that you use for making these pictures that kids have that you use the iron for to melt them together. Just slap them down on some bases, glued them down. This is another piece, random piece. I don't even think it's Lego. I found it in my kids' Legos. They haven't used it ever. Slapped it down on a Lego piece. A bunch of pewter pieces that are, I believe, actually cannons, but if you turn them up right, they look pretty cool. And then, of course, if you have like Games Workshop stuff, terrain pieces, will be great for something like Micro Wars. I can use these, no problem. They're already made. Even things like reflectors, you could use that for a cool sci-fi kind of feel. These are wheels from my child's remote control car. They look kind of cool, like barrels or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I've got all this stuff that I can work with. I've just thrown it in this container here, and I'm going to go ahead and throw some more spackling on it and paint and see what we get. Here's the final product of what you see here now. What a difference. The spackling on there, some dry brushing. I really like the gold on that one. I've touched up all the metal parts, like the top of this landing place here with nice silver paint and some dark washes. Put some really nice little metallic paint and washes on the doors. Simple washes on these domes to make them look a little bit different. A little bit of grass, dirty grass on top of these to differentiate them. Looks really simple. Here you've got your mechanical buildings with, again, with the metal and the washes. Really dark and dirty. And a couple little huts here that I've dumped some sand on and some of this grass. Just gives it a really nice effect. Here's a couple more of our towers. I even took a super glue cap there and just painted it silver and added a wash to it. That looks really cool. One of our bigger buildings with the Easter egg on top. Couple doors around it, really simple design, and a couple of our mechanical buildings here. Those look really good when you add that, just a simple silver and a dark wash onto it. It doesn't look like your typical tool stuff anymore. And here you see what we did with the barrels. Add a little bit of grass around them, and if you pair that up with some small crates and some wheels and other things, I mean, you've got a bunch of extra terrain you can just scatter around on the battlefield. Well, there you have it, folks. A brief look at our Tatooine terrain setup for our Micro Wars series. Keep your eyes peeled for this because you will see this terrain in upcoming battle reports. If you like this kind of content, please do give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and we will continue to release videos like these for you, the viewer. But most of all, thank you for joining us here today at Gray Army Gaming for the future of gaming.
Ta-da!